Yo, hello everybody and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're having an amazing week. Currently it is Friday and Bitcoin is getting rejected and has had a candle closure below that first weekly pivot resistance, thus creating a lower high as you can see right here. So it is possible that we start creating some kind of a downtrend if we lose that weekly pivot level, and maybe Bitcoin can even potentially, if this continues, we can get down to that value area high, basically test the range that we broke out of before. As you can see, if the price continues to create higher lows, as you can see like right here, since on the daily we did get oversold and right now we're consolidating here. So above the weekly pivot, and as long, let me just enable the yearly pivot and go onto the weekly time frame, you can see we did have a pretty right to the dollar rejection from that second yearly pivot resistance, which was 123,300 basically. So it is possible, in my opinion, that if Bitcoin does not reclaim and does not break above that second yearly resistance, basically we can potentially go back and test that first yearly pivot resistance, which is basically 106k as support, and then maybe if the rally continues we can potentially break through and hit my final target of $150,000 for a Bitcoin, which would be pretty nice to see. Also for Ethereum right now, almost hit that weekly pivot resistance. Basically my target for the week was 3,760, basically the last pivot resistance. If we go on the daily, you can see we almost hit that, but right now we are having a small correction. If we look on the smaller time frame, you can see we created like here a double top this time, but this time Ethereum rejected to the downside. As you can see, the previous two times it just broke out. Basically the last three times it was just up and up and up and breakthrough, but right now potentially creating a double top, and the price is having a slight correction. Now, is the pump over? I don't think so. I think if we go back on the weekly time frame for Ethereum, first next week potentially, since today is Friday, the end of the trading week for the traditional market, so on the weekend I expect the volatility to be low, so I'm not expecting to touch that during the weekend. But next week, if the weekly closes as you can see above the early pivot, then it means we are above it, and the next target for Ethereum would be that first yearly pivot resistance. And once that new weekly candle opens in 2 days, it is very possible that we can see another bullish candle like so to the upside for Ethereum during the next week. Also Solana also started to move today, but right now it is getting rejected from its yearly pivot. If we go on the daily, you can see, or let's go on the 2-day so we can see better, that was the value area high, which also perfectly correlates with the early pivot, as you can see. And right now Solana is rejecting from here, so still not a breakthrough. We want to see something like this for Solana, and so it starts trading above its yearly pivot, which will be then very bullish, and potentially we can go back to $250 to $290 for Solana, since in my opinion Solana was lagging behind during all this pump. For example, XRP, I think we made a new all-time high. Yes, so basically XRP this month you can see with a gain of almost 68%, while Solana during this month still stuck in that range, basically only had a 24% of a pump. So Solana still lagging behind, still pretty big potential, and we can still buy cheap Solana as of right now. So basically, as you can see, this happened because the Bitcoin dominance has been falling very strong to the upside. In my last video we drew that trend line right here to watch basically when we're going to hit that, but right now we are approaching also the first yearly pivot resistance, which it's possible that it can act as support, which because it also perfectly correlates with that trend line. So maybe we can see some cool off in the market. I don't want to sound bearish, but I'm just saying what I see in the charts for right now, since we did have a pretty massive rally for some altcoins and also for Bitcoin. So basically I'm still bullish, but I'm expecting some kind of correction, which would be another buy opportunity in my opinion. Also, if we look at the open interest right now, the open interest and the CVD seems to be going down, which is kind of bearish for the price. As you can see, we have had a correction from that level, basically 120, that rejection, that higher low that we made, and right now we are having almost 3% of a correction. Also, if we look at the liquidation heat map, basically we still have more liquidity as of right now to the downside. Basically at 106k it is the most, which is that value area high of the previous range that we broke out of. So I'm potentially expecting some kind of pullback sooner or later, and then we can see the rally continue. Also, the Bitcoin ETF inflows, 522 million. Again, today we got another positive inflow. As you can see, we've had almost 2 weeks in a row positive Bitcoin inflows. We only had like one sale on the 1st of July, basically the beginning of the month, and as of right now, 2 weeks into the month, we have basically green month for the ETF. As you can see, it is rising very steadily. Also, the fear and greed index is approaching that extreme fear zone, but we are still in that grid. So if we get another pump, then we can potentially go back into that extreme greed, and then maybe we can look, as I said, for that correction that I was talking about. But as of right now, if we look on the longs versus shorts ratio, currently the second day in a row we do have more selling pressure, as you know, more shorts opening, but price is not going that much lower, as you can see. So basically it is possible that next week we either enter a range, some kind of longer consolidation, or we pump once again to test that second yearly pivot resistance, and also squeeze all the shorts that are basically opening right now to the upside and get them liquidated, which might happen also during the weekend, since during the weekend we do see sometimes bigger manipulation, so it is possible. And so yeah, this will be for today's update video, guys. Remember to like and subscribe for the channel. Also follow me on X for lifetime updates, and don't forget, if you want to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum and all the other altcoins using zero spot fees and very low future fees, basically zero maker and 0.01 taker, you can sign up on KSX using my link right here, which would also be in the description, or using my code, which is also right here. You can also see it in the description. And so yes guys, that will be it for today's update video, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.